respond to what's happening in real time instead of trying to impose an agenda or like impose where you want it to go. Because that's a very closed and tight energetic. And nothing great and luscious and delicious gets created in that type of environment. You have to be open and responsive in order to create magic. So let us be your guides. And even if you just listen to how we roll on the podcast, you're getting it in you.
Oh, hello. We're talking about my tits.
Most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife.
Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things.
But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
Yeah. Everything you want. Immaculate experience.
Back down.
You're getting like excited.
I do actually.
need the tequila.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast.
How are you?
We're fucking rip raring to go.
Oh my God, we just got off the best fucking call. We
bet.
kicked off our Club Unhinged business incubator today, which is our 6-month program for brand new entrepreneurs and creatives designing their first business, because we were there. We've been there multiple times. Kelsey and I have both had multiple businesses, online, brick and mortar, like all iterations. And we've learned so much over our 25, 30 years combined in business. And we know that initial gate to get into business from the corporate world or from a hobby or, something that's like a side project into the actual business, that step can be it's the hardest oftentimes. It's the fucking hardest. It's like going to the gym for the first time. It's always getting your ass out of bed 6 o'clock in the morning when you're exhausted. You're like, I don't know if I can go. And then you get your ass there and you come back and you're like, oh, I'll treat myself. That was amazing. But it's
good.
Yeah, but there's so much lead up to that. And so we are so excited. And today we had the best call, the best intro call. You and I were off the rails. First of all, we were matching. Our outfits were matching. They still are.
Actually.
We showed up.
Black tops, crop tops, like black crop tops, like fancier sweats. And then we're like, okay, that's cool. And then we literally went off the rails in the middle of the session, and they're doing some journaling, and Christine and I are losing our minds, having a dance party to ourselves. And Christine lifts up her leg and I see her slipper and I'm like, what the fuck? And I take mine off and I show her in the camera, because we're muted while they're writing to not be a total distraction to them. And I'm like waving my slipper. We're wearing the exact same slippers.
It was bonkers. We literally are, even our outfit, the pants, the fancy sweats, it's like the same tone. Like it was fucking nuts. And I know you might be like, okay, listen, bitches, what the fuck?
Who cares?
Who cares? But it was just so fun. I was like, I love when the universe just like has those like wink, wink, tickle, tickle. I'm watching you, what you guys are doing. You're on the right path, the alignment, all that stuff. And I mean, today in the incubator, we got a hold of one of my house music playlists. Kelsey knows I love house. And so we were just going off the rails. The women were listening to house music too. So we were like, let's try something a little different. And they were fucking loving it. They were loving it. We're like, journal about, imposter syndrome and who are you not to do this, and then we put on these
Broke boys.
I'm like pulling out my wallet and like spilling out 20s like I'm at the strip club. Kelsey's dying because of course the women are journaling. They can still see us. We're on camera. It's not like we're not. So and they're dying. They're laughing so hard. And we said it's so important to weave in fun and silliness and playfulness, because if we take ourselves so seriously, everything becomes so stressful and compressed
and tight.
Tense and tight and overwhelming. And we just spent like an hour and 15 minutes going over some of the more, basic stuff about, okay, here's the layout of menu networks. Here's this, we just more linear things to do with business. And then we intentionally move that in because we're like, we want to have a good time. It also teaches and trains your nervous system.
Totally.
That you can have a conversation about something that's maybe more scary or dangerous or threatening, aka opening a business. Because if it's your first business, you don't know that gate is safe. Walking through that portal is safe. You have no idea. You have no data, no evidence. So it's going to automatically assume it's dangerous. So when we do that work and we have the conversations about business and then we layer in a lot of fun and playfulness, it actually says, ooh, wait a minute. Okay, I'm a little maybe even dysregulated and now I'm becoming really regulated through this. I'm laughing, I'm dancing, I feel way more relaxed. And it keeps training our system that business is safe. Having fun, expansion is safe, making money is safe, all these different things. And so it's kind of funny. And so we sometimes don't even plan these things, but there's actually a lot of scientific evidence of what we do and why and how. So,
That's because we're properly trained. Like, we're not just like, pulling stuff out of our asses. Like, both of us have been trained to the nth degree. We continue to invest in our training and our growth and our expansion. So those things are integrated into us. So we don't have to be mechanical with it. We can actually like let it flow more naturally, and we weave those, elements of safety in so that, we don't have to sit and mentally masturbate this stuff. We can actually give them the template of what it looks like in embodied action, because that's actually what matters more. Is that you get it in your body so that you can move in the direction of what it is that wants to create through you. And, I gotta say, like, we are really fucking good. We just really are. And, and we did a really good job of curating the container as well. And like who we called in to the container and how we set it up energetically and the info session and who made it through the gates. Like, everyone there is just so cohesive.
Yeah.
And
all in, you can
all
feel
in.
it. Even if they don't know the pathway, even they don't know exactly even what they're creating or the whole path, there was something bigger inside of them that said yes to that experience.
Yes.
And that's all that matters. Like, we don't have a fucking avatar. Like, we're not sitting here being like, okay, our avatar for this business incubator is, we're like
32.3 years old.
Yes, and they have this, and they drive this car, and they shop at Whole Foods, and they
eat Smart Pop at 3 p.m.
Totally. They drink matcha at 10:52 with their friend Sally. Like, oh my God. They only have
sex on a Tuesday.
They schedule it. It's like, oh my God, right? So we don't do business in that traditional way.
No.
We like to have a lot of fun. And we are, I would say, quite polarizing in some ways. So I think people really know if they're in or they're out. And I love and respect a woman who says, I'm not prepared for this necessarily. I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I don't know what's going to come of it. But I'm going to invest. And what they're really saying is, I actually believe and trust in myself. It's not even about you and I. It's about themselves and what they believe about themselves, right? They're willing to gamble. They're willing to take a bet on themselves. And that's what I think a lot of society is missing.
100%. And I think when we do take that jump and that leap into following the thread of, and it's usually like this quiet, like whisper. It's not like this loud voice. It's like, go fucking do it. It's usually the thing that's like, hello, you should go do that thing. Like, that's the yes. And then the louder voice comes in to drown it out and tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't. And this has nothing to do with like enrolling into the incubator. Like, if you want to, we'll keep it open for another week or so. But it has more to do with saying yes to your life. And yes to the path that your soul is asking you to walk. And when you do that, whether that's investing into a business incubator with us and like building the thing, or if it's like going to fucking some place in the world that you've always wanted to go to. I was going to say China.
You really struggled with that one. I was like, what?
Well, because my brain was like, you've always wanted to go to China. I was like, do they? Is that where they've always wanted to go? Maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
That's so funny. That was funny watching. I'm like, wait, what's happening?
What is happening?
Watching you give birth to the name. I was like, I think she's struggling to find like a name that she might want to, or like the name of a country or a place.
Because I don't want to go there. So why would my brain say that?
Maybe your brain's, but maybe, okay, not maybe. This also right now, what you're witnessing, you guys, is perfection. Because it is Kelsey having a moment where her brain is like, I'm going to fucking psych you. I'm going to psych you. I'm going to make you look like you don't know what you're talking about. And then it says China. And then it's like, wait, what? But you and I are having fun with this. We're rolling with it. And we're not like, do you know how many people would say, they would cut the podcast. They'd say, okay, assistant or whatever, I need you to chop it from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't add that in, blah, 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 blah. And they'd be embarrassed. And like, that's like fragmenting off a part of themselves. When you can get really comfortable, with the cringe or with these unsexy edits or, my kid rolling in and being like, Mom, can I watch YouTube? And I'm like, fuck. It's like,
Favorite. It's an inside joke for us now.
I love it. I love watching the bloopers or the real things.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's the real
shit.
Like anybody can perform. Yep. Anybody can say stuff. Now with ChatGPT and with AI, people can say perfect things all the time. And so I think, authenticity and face-to-face video and voice, you can't make that up, right? So I love this. I love that your brain just said China, because it opens up you and I's because we're following the flow of it and not rejecting it or getting upset by it. We're just like, some people would get really stressed and tense, and they would actually cut off the flow now, and they'd be like, "Well, where was I? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just ruined that whole first 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever of intro, and now I got to start all from scratch. And now I'm stressed and I have no time." We're like, let's fucking roll with it. That was the best. I love that. Let's fucking go to China, whatever. And
maybe that's where our next target audience is China.
I don't know. Who knows, right? But we're having fun and playing with it, and it's done, and it gives us material to work off of. And this is a lesson for our lives as well. If we just have fun, we don't make things mean things, and we stop rejecting everything, being like, this shouldn't be happening, we just flow with it, we can turn anything into gold. Turn anything into a conversation. I could look at something on my fucking desk and turn it into a conversation, and we could turn it into gold.
You did in our session today when we were having our dance party. Christine kept like presencing all the items on her table, and like she was like chugging some Advil, which I was like, wow, this is strangely sexual. I'm kind of turned on. Is it because I'm 40 and I have a bottle of Advil in every fucking room of my house? I don't know. And then there was like a spoon, and then the 20s, and she's like, $100 bills, baby.
Here's everything. My child's pretend cell phone. Mia's like pretend like cell phone. So I was like imitating what a boring person who runs a business would look like shoulders up to ears and like stressed on this phone.
Yeah.
I had water bottles, I had green juice, I had coffee, and then I was making fun of myself as like, you called me like, you're like West Coast white girl. I had like coffee, green juice, and I'm like pretending to drink both. And anyways, we had
like
the
most
best time.
basic dance moves.
Yeah, it was like basic bitch dance moves. I was like, oh my God.
You know what it was? At one point, we both did like the Trump dance. You know how he does that weird like side to side thing, and like
does
this? Yeah, he does it. And like all of a sudden, we locked in and we were doing that, and I was dying because I'm like, this is how we're dancing to house music right now. Like, I'm a dancer. Like, what is happening? Why am I doing this move? But it was so funny. And like, that's the thing. You want to be able to roll with life. Yeah. We were going to talk about something else. I think we should talk about this.
Yes, great.
But like rolling with the flow of your life. And I was talking to someone last week, and they were on a podcast, and I asked them how it went. And they were like, honestly, I don't think it was that great. And I'm like, oh, okay. Why is that? Well, because like they kept trying to like force the conversation to go in a certain direction when the conversation wanted to go in this other direction. They kept trying to put it in the box when this conversation is so outside of the box. And that's something that you and I do really well, is especially when we're interviewing people, we follow the thread of like what wants to come to life. We might have a game plan, and we always have a game plan for our calls, but it's a framework. That's it. It's not this like script that we follow. And that actually allows us to respond in real time to what wants to come through. And that is actually way more effective in terms of a conversation on a podcast, or if you're working with a group, or even if you're just talking to your fucking spouse. Like, how many people go into conversations with their partners with a laundry list, and they're like, okay, here's my checklist. We need to go through X, Y, and Z. Like, when you did this, and like, oh my God, they shut off. They're like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to you.
But they're just smiling. They're like,
yeah, okay. I want to fucking murder you.
I love you so much.
I love you.
Like, I'm going to punish you later. I'm going to punish you so hard.
You think you're getting laid? I don't think so.
I won't fuck you for 3 months now. Oh, you just said that thing as well? You can just feel the frost, the icy frost. the nipples shrivel in, the vagina shrivels up, everything just goes full Frosty the Snowman. We're like, I'm great. It's like
I'm great. I love
your
you.
eyes are just frozen solid. What's
It's
happening
like
right
that
now?
triggered look. Like you can always tell when people are a little because
Yeah.
their eyes are like, meh, and it they're stuck in that like freeze response.
Yeah,
Like their
totally.
nervous system is stuck.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what happens when we live primarily in our head and we don't
Yep.
know how to flow with life. And if you can master the art of flowing with life, you will be masterful in everything you do. Every relationship is going to feel so much smoother when you can actually just respond to what's happening in real time instead of trying to impose an agenda or like impose where you want it to go. Because that's a very closed and tight energetic. And
Yeah.
nothing great and luscious and delicious gets created in that type of environment. You have to be open and responsive in order to create magic. So let us be your guides. And even if you just listen to how we roll on the podcast, you're getting it in you, you know, but surround yourself with people who know how to do this and learn how to do it. Because if you're listening to Club Unhinged, the podcast, you're not here to live a conventional life. Sorry to say. Like,
Not?
you're not? What? No, you're here to be unhinged, baby. You're here to actually like pave and carve a new way of being, and you will have to shake yourself loose from the chains and the shackles of the conventional track.
Yeah.
You know, and part of that is like resensitizing your system so that you can actually feel that current of energy. Because all you and I are doing whenever we're doing this is we're just landed in our body and we're paying attention to what's happening in reality. And we're just responding to what's happening in reality. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. And was I talking to Steve the other day? I can't remember. Multiple people have said this. They're like, oh, you have a couple of podcasts? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so when you and Kelsey get on, do you just like, you guys have like a script? Like you just like read off of it? And I was like, what?
What?
That would, that
Never.
stresses my system out. Like I actually can't even,
Couldn't.
I would turn into a robot. I'd be like, hi, Kelsey. Yeah, it's nice to see you on the podcast
Yeah.
today. Or like today we have our guest, Sally from New Jersey, and Sally does this kind of job, and Sally, like, oh my God,
Ugh.
I can't, my soul feels so inside of a box. And listen, I know when you're newer at something, there may be a little bit of help and you might need to riff off of something. And if you ever do, that's okay. It's just not using it for the entire episode or whatever the writing
Forever.
is. Like you can have a structure. Like I'm even thinking about retreats. The first time I ran a retreat, I had a very, very rigid structure because I was so scared. I was
Really?
so scared. The very first time, I had no business running a
Oh
retreat.
my God, you got to
I
tell me.
I just opened
What
up a
did you do?
fucking well, I just opened up a fitness studio, okay, guys? Like
Okay.
I had no business experience and like a couple years into that, I knew I wanted to run a retreat and I was
Okay.
like there's no fucking way. And then when I had my crazy year of adrenal, that 2018, when I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
like adrenal fatigue, burnout, panic attacks, I couldn't drive, I was like ear infections, pneumonia, like
Is
I
that the
was
year you got
destined.
hit by a tree or like
Yeah,
the,
that's the same. Oh
okay.
yeah, yeah, that was the final. That was the tree fell on me. So it was like I'm gonna die. And in all of that hot mess express, my system was like, you need to go. Or my friend, she actually said, you know what? There's a 1 day or a 2 day retreat. You should come with me. And I was like, I don't have the money. First of all, I'm like
Mhm.
fucking Brokeback Mountain. And second of all, I I don't like how do you want me to go? I don't know how I'm gonna go. And so she dragged me to the Sunshine Coast. I went. It was actually an interesting one because it was 1 day of talking, 1 day of silence. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, it was really interesting. But it was when I still was having my like panic attacks because I would go in somewhere and I'd start like losing consciousness. So that would make my energy just start to like drain out and I would
Hmm.
start getting really dizzy. So I went on this retreat and I started like panicking when we couldn't talk because I felt like I remember having a shower and being like, oh my God, like I can't talk. Like I felt trapped. It was this really weird feeling.
Hmm.
And then I rolled with it and I sat outside on the deck and it was sunny and I got a piece of paper and a pen. And I was like, God, for the love of fucking God, tell me what the hell is going on.
Mm.
Give me some guidance. Aww.
Ask and you shall receive.
And you know what I fucking heard? Christine, you're going to run a retreat here. I was like, excuse me? That was not what like, okay, I'm destination fucked. I'm going to run a retreat and lead people. I've never run a retreat. I don't know how to run one. I've never sold one. Who would even come? I don't have any business running a retreat. Like, the seed was planted, just like the fucking gym. Like, the seed was planted, and I was like, oh, fuck. So, Spirit led me. I was like, all right, I guess I'll just hop on this radio. But the interesting thing is that the minute I started stepping towards the retreat and just doing stuff and being like, okay, fuck, I guess I'm just going to do this. I sold it out. I sold fucking 12 spots in a retreat and I did it at that place. Now I was scared shitless because I'd never done it before. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, what? And when I got there, we're talking, guests arrive at this time. Now from 3:50 to 4:10, we do this exercise, and then we're going to introduce ourselves. And I was like sweating, I was hot, I was having all sorts of physical sensations. I used to call it like crazy red chest because when I got embarrassed or like stressed out, my whole chest would go red. So I'd be like, oh my god, I'm like glitching out with like crazy red chest. But again, I made it through and it was a fantastic weekend. But every time I ran a retreat after that, it got easier and easier. I don't even fucking plan a goddamn thing. I just rolled in and I had 12 CEOs and founders at my last retreat. I rolled in and I was like, hey guys, I got nothing planned for this weekend. They were like, what? And I like, just to fuck with them a little bit. And Christine was like, no, we have stuff planned. I was like, I'm joking. I have stuff planned, but I could literally flow in the moment, just know what time the session is. I don't know anything that's going to happen in the session. And it was so fascinating because some of the more type A women were like, you could see the kind of like, what do you mean? I'm like, don't worry. You have all of your times. You have when sessions are. You have when lunches are, breakfast, all that stuff. But when I can give myself the flexibility to roll with what comes up, because I can sit and plan a retreat, but in the retreat, if I follow a program, air quotes, program, that's going to come up, I'm not honoring them. I'm not giving them the best service. So I think like the best people and the best mentors are the ones who can literally on the spot shift, on the spot roll with it, on the spot change the subject in the podcast, on the spot feel into what the other person's, what's happening in the other person and adjust. And you and I do that all the time in the club, even when we're coaching. We see somebody go into a nervous system response or something's happening, we shift gears fast, like instantly to hold the energy.
Totally.
And yeah, it was fascinating. And just one more thing I'll say is that if anyone's sitting on the fence, been thinking about the business incubator, I want to share one more little story about going into the unknown. But that same time in 2018, I ran the retreat and I was like, what? And as I started stepping towards the retreat, even though it was more work, I was still running a business. I still had a premature baby. Like I had all these responsibilities and no money. But the more I started stepping towards the things that were lighting me up my soul, like I was in full-blown surrender mode and the universe was just guiding me and I was saying yes to the things, everything's like my physical symptoms literally started clearing up and disappearing. So I heard this voice and it's like, you're going to take your mentor's year-long intuitive coaching program. And I was like, I'm sorry, now I'm going to be a coach. I run a business that I'm already overwhelmed and drowning in.
Right.
And now I'm going to run a retreat and now I'm going to take a year-long coaching program and it's 20 grand. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Where's that money coming from? And the universe was like, you say yes, the money will be provided, but you have to trust. It was like this, again, another deposit into the unknown. Yeah. And guess what? I fucking made every single payment. And the more I stepped into coaching, within 6 months, I had a coaching practice. Yeah. And I started making like insane money. And it was one of these things that the evidence wasn't there. And so sometimes, we have the excuses. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I'm already overwhelmed. But guess what? When you step towards the things, your soul is talking to you all the time. It is delivering the pathway for your next evolution. And it will require you to sit in the unknown, to trust, to have faith, and to not know all the answers. But your job is to follow those breadcrumbs and follow the thread. And you will always be fucking supported. I have so many off the rails stories when it comes to money and different pieces where I literally was like, I'm going to go bankrupt. My studio's going to close down. These things are going to happen. I don't have $6,000. End of the month, I'm going to have to not pay my staff. Ring, ring. Oh, hi, we're a film company. And this is like
film something.
This is like June. This is like June 27th. And we're doing like 48 hours. We'd like, hi, we're thinking about renting your studio, but we would need it for the whole day this Friday and you'd have to cancel your classes. And I was like, oh, it's pretty inconvenient. We only had 3 classes running that day. And I was like, and they were like, our budget is $6,000. Like shit like that just, I have goosebumps even saying it. But
Yeah.
when we are willing to go with the flow, when we're willing to follow life, when we're willing to just be the fucking, we're the passenger on the ship. We're like, let's go. Like you have autonomy, you have choice, but when you're willing to be steered by something greater than you, it always knows the way.
Yes.
And so this is why doing things that your heart and soul are saying yes to, but your human is maybe saying no to, and you have all the reasons to say no to it. This is why I am a big advocate of pushing myself and even sometimes other people when I can tell they just need that little help crossing the finish line over the edge into their next self, because it is not an easy place. And life is just so much more fun when you flow. Like I have such trust and fun with life now because I have so many pieces of evidence of that happening. It just starts with micro things, starts with micro little decisions, and they build, and you start getting ballsier and having more fun. And
I know. Like, I mean, that's been my whole entrepreneurial journey as well. Like I started in 2009 and I started with my coaching business, and like it was not something that I set out to do. I said yes to a program. It was a self-expression and leadership program in Landmark. And my coach at the time on one of our calls, she was like, have you ever considered doing this for a living? And I was like, listen, bitch, do not try and roll me into the next fucking course in Landmark.
oh yeah, you
Okay, sure. And she's like, no, I don't mean working for Landmark and like enrolling into the next course. I mean, actually doing this for a business. Like you make money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I was like, you can do that?
Yeah. Wait, what do I mean?
Like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about you that I think you will be really, really good at it. And she's like, I really want to be a stand for that and move you in that direction if that feels true. And it was the first thing that I was like, I feel like something bigger than her is talking through her to me.
Yeah.
Whether you want to call it God, the universe, creator, whatever, love, whatever it is, like it felt like that moment. I was like, oh, I need to listen. And so she planted that seed. And that was, I think, in June of 2009. And September 2009, I went and got a job at a coffee shop because I needed to make money and pay my rent. And I'd lived on all my savings by that point. And so I was like, well, I guess I need to go get a job. So what do I want to do? Latte art? Great. So I go and get a job at this coffee shop. And 3 months into working there, I had a full roster of coaching clients. And some of those clients came from the coffee shop. The contracts that I got from the people who came in at 6 a.m., because those are the business people. And I had this idea. I'm like, well, if I have to work a job, I'm working a job where I can still build what I want to build on the back end. So I'm not working all day long. I'll find a job, even though I'm not a morning person, sign me up for 5:45 a.m. I'll come in and I will work till noon. No joke. My shift started at 5:45 in the morning. Can you believe that?
Not really, but kind of.
And so I did this, and like the people who come into a coffee shop at 6 a.m., those are the serious
they're
business
legit.
people. They're legit. And so it introduced me to this whole demographic of people who either brought me in for contracts for their business, or they passed me off to somebody who they thought I would be a great fit for. And then I also got contracts to sing at events. So this one woman, she lived in West Van. For anyone who doesn't know, it is bougie as fuck. It is a very, very rich neighborhood. Everyone who lives there are millionaires at least. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting married. Can you sing at my wedding?
Stop.
I will pay you to sing at my wedding. So these opportunities just kept coming naturally because not only was I saying yes to following that thread of being a coach, but I also said yes to taking care of myself, to taking care of what I needed to take care of so that my survival was handled.
Yeah.
You know, I could pay my rent, I could buy my groceries, you know, pay my phone bill, the basics. And from there, like in September, when I started at the coffee shop, I also was ironically at a landmark event, and I was in a hotel and I was walking and texting. So I was looking down at my phone texting, and I literally walk into this dude. And I look up, and it's the guy that I was paired with in the advanced course in Landmark 8 months before.
Come on.
And him and I were put in an exercise where we had to like write a story, and then we had to read it out loud to each other until we got it. And that's all the instruction they gave. And him and I were like, what the fuck? And so we like write our stories out, and we're reading them to each other. We're like, this exercise is so stupid. Like, why are we the only ones left in the room? Like, we were literally the only one. We didn't get it. We did not get what the exercise was about.
Yeah, you're like, I don't get it.
The exercise was basically about, there are few facts in your story. Most of it is
Oh,
just
you mean
story.
like your story of who you are. You're like,
Yeah, they're like, pick a circumstance in your life that you feel stressed out about.
oh, okay.
Write a story about it, and then
Right.
you read that story to your partner until you get it.
Right. This is not your like life story. This
No,
is, okay.
no.
Yeah.
And so my story was like, there's this guy at the gym who looks like this guy that I was in love with for 15 years, and it's stressing me out. And like the story was insane. And like when I finally got it, I'm like, oh, the facts are, there's a guy that goes to my gym. He shows up at the same time I do. He has blonde hair and blue eyes and has a similar body frame to this dude. And it's fucking me up. Those were the actual facts. Everything else was a story.
Yes.
And it was the story that was stressing me out.
Yep.
And so it's like one of their building blocks of like meaning making and all this shit. But Jer and I got paired together, and we were literally the last two in the room. This is a room of 200 people. Everyone else got it, and we didn't get it. And then we finally did, and we're like, oh, fuck, we're so
You're
dumb.
like, what is wrong with this?
We're so dumb. But we didn't exchange contact information. We were like, you know, that was, thank you for being my buddy and like my partner in this. Like, have a nice life. He was living in Victoria. I was living in Calgary. And we didn't exchange any information. And then fast forward 9 months later, we walk into each other in this hallway. He's texting and walking. I'm texting and walking. We collide. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? He's like, I live in Vancouver now. I'm like, I live in Vancouver now. And then he's like, do you want to hang out sometime? I'm like, okay. So we went on a date to the aquarium, and I don't know.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
And like 10 minutes into the date, we have our hot chocolate. We're looking at fucking sea turtles or fishes or whatever. And we look at each other. We're like, we should not date each other.
Oh, this is like a date. You went on like a date, I wasn't sure if you meant like a friend date or like an actual
We went on a date. And
that's so
I mean,
funny.
dates are like social experiences to see if there's alignment. So like we look at each other. We're like, we're meant to be friends.
Yes, you can like feel it right away.
You can just feel it right away. And he's like, I need to introduce you to my circle of friends. He's like, I don't know why, but you need to meet them. So I go to meet them the next day. And all of a sudden it clicks in. Like, I was literally the missing piece in that social circle, that once I was in, it gelled everyone. And all of a sudden we were building businesses together. And 6 months later from that point, we were on national television. And they have become like this core soul family for me. They were the family that I had always wanted, but I didn't get until I did the scary thing, moved to a new city, kept following the thread. Like, I wasn't setting out to build soul community. I was just following the thread of like, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? Show up, show up, show up, show up, show up. And then boom, I have this community, and I call them my band of brothers, because I was the only woman in that social circle. And they were like, we have never let a woman into our circle of friends before. But there's something about you, like you're the sister that we needed to kind of gel it all. And then it got moving. And so like that was, I literally had my coaching business, and then I had this secondary business. So I had two businesses within 6 months of following that thread. And then one of those businesses got us on national television. Like,
So cool.
it's so fucking cool when we actually like break it down and like you deconstruct it and walk it back. Like, fuck. But at the time, if someone had told me when my coach said, Kelsey, I think you'd be a really great coach, and in a year from now, you're going to be on national television in lingerie, I'd have been like, what? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But in that year's time, I had started a burlesque group that I choreographed, and then I got us gigs at like philanthropy events. Like, it was.
Well, that's a whole
That's
other
a topic for another
day.
day. And then I had these two businesses. And all of that happened in the span of a year of just following that thread and being open and receptive to the universe speaking through other people to give you a message. And, you know, you and I now get to be those channels for people. Like, I know we say things all the time, usually in passing or just randomly. And I'm like, oh, that was kind of out of character for me to say. Like, I wouldn't normally use that language or use that phrasing, but it must have been what they needed to hear. And then they circle back, you know, 6 months down the road being like, remember when you said that? I'd be like, not really, but kind of. And like, that changed my life.
Yeah.
And so when you get in your body and you follow the thread, eventually you will also be used as a vehicle for the expression of the divine for other people's activation so that they can popcorn and come to life. And we can maybe live in a world that's not such a dumpster fire. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, friends. You just got to follow the flow.
Follow the flow and miracles will happen.
You know what I'd be really interested in? We don't use ChatGPT here, but wouldn't it be so interesting if we threw this audio into ChatGPT and be like, summarize this podcast episode? It would be like, oh.
I think Riverside does that actually now.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'll see what it summarizes. And
I'd like to see how it would summarize what the fuck we just talked about. I mean, everything was there. Mom, YouTube, us fucking up the podcast, China, adrenal fatigue, running my first retreat, business incubator, slippers being the same.
burlesque on
Burlesque
national
for
television.
philanthropy. It's just, I think it would actually glitch. I think ChatGPT would actually spit out, be like, this is too much for me.
Cannot compute.
Just pops up the pinwheel of death. It just like keeps circling over and over and over.
And this is why we don't outsource to artificial intelligence. Like, don't outsource your entire life to it, which we did talk about in the incubator today. You can use it as a tool. Like, that's all it is. Like, use it as a tool, but like, don't outsource your life to it because it cannot hold the complexity and nuance of what it means to be human. And when you get in rooms with other humans who are doing cool and epic shit and following the flow, it trains your nervous system to feel safe enough to follow your flow. Because your flow is different than mine, it's different than Christine's, like, but it's just as magical if you actually surrender and open and trust it and move with it. And that's really what we're setting you up to do in the incubator, but also in the club. Like, you know, the club is about reinvention, reinventing your life. And then the incubator is about building your first business and using these principles of being deeply in your body and deeply attuned. And, you know, as Christine, like, her whole thing is like rich and regulated, you know, and we get to bring those concepts in and build them into the infrastructure of your life or your business. And I think, like, there's literally no one like us out there, and I fucking love it.
It should be actually rich, regulated, and off the rails.
Yes, that's actually, I mean, that's the Club Unhinged ethos for sure.
It's the Club Unhinged. Well, because when you think about it, it actually is, you can be rich, and that's not just financially, it's in all areas of your life. And then you're regulated. Your regulation is you're spending more time in regulation versus dysregulation. But the off the rails actually does create regulation, because when you can be your full self freely and not judge and not criticize and not put down, which is what we do in the club, like everything can exist.
Yeah.
Full spectrum, floor and ceiling, both at the same time, and nothing means anything. There's such a healing that happens. It doesn't even, we're not even conscious of it a lot of the time, but it's happening because we're able to fully express and speak and use our voice. And if we haven't had an opportunity to do that in the past, which a lot of us haven't, there's this reclamation, and every time you reclaim parts of yourself, your nervous system upgrades and you feel safer. And when you feel safer, you take bolder moves, you make more money, you receive more, everything changes, everything shifts. So being off the rails and having fun and being playful is actually a really healing thing that you could do in the right environment. When you have support and you can have that playground that we provide, where you can come in and be your full range self, and all of it can exist, because then you find out who you really fucking are, not who you pretended to be, or not who you're performing to be, or the person you think will get you the love or the validation or whatever it is. So so maybe we should talk about AI on the next episode. We should do like a yikesicles or something about the AI world. Anyways, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll follow the flow, and we'll see you in the next episode. But we love you. If you're feeling called to the incubator, head to the show notes. The info session is there. All of the details to sign up are there. We will keep it open maybe until the coaching call, which is the 27th. So like the 26th of January, we'll keep it open. But you need time to go through that first session before you get into the coaching call. So, either the 25th or the 26th, we'll see. And then if you feel more called to come into the club, we'll put the application there so you can send that to us, and then we'll get on a call with you and suss it out, make sure it's a good fit. And we love you all. Thank you for being here. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all the things. Pass this episode on to someone who really needs to hear it. And we'll be back next week with something new. Bye, friends.
Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating, and we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.